What's up, Spell Basketball family? How y'all doing today? This is Aslan, with the stats, the facts, and all that. Yeah, it's been a while. I know I keep saying I'm gonna come back, but it's time to be a man of my word. So I'm gonna be on here and it's gonna be consistent. And that's just it. Okay. All right, y'all. Well, I hope everybody's doing well. First and foremost, I got to give all glory and honor to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. As always, I'm grateful. Without him, I am nothing. And so, it's been a kind of a bit of an absence recently. Again, I stated on my YouTube channel, on this channel right now, that I did have a loss in the family, and that was a bit tough. And the only reason I'm mentioning this right now is because my cousin was a huge supporter of me, and especially with this show. So, rest easy, my man. And I thank God that I was able to have you in my life, and appreciate all the support that you showed me. He was a natural, just, what am I trying to say? He was a regular on this show, came in, put his input in. Not all of it was right all the time, but it's okay. He loved the Nuggets. And so just rest easy, my man. But with that being said, we are back again. If you have not subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you have any comments, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And also share it with your friends, share it with your family. Those of you all who love the game of basketball, WNBA, NBA, whatever it might be, this is the channel for you. All right. So let's go on and get started. Today's not going to be that long of a show, but we are going to cover a few different things. Now, the NBA, the WNBA playoffs have started and are almost done. And so we have the WNBA finals right now that are happening. And right now at halftime, the New York Liberty are up on the Lynx 44-36. The Liberty came out swinging, but the Minnesota Lynx did come back and have made it a game. So we'll see what happens in the second half. Mind you all, I did choose the Lynx to take it all this year. I thought they were the most all-around team. And also they have been the team that the New York Liberty have had issues with this year. The season series was 3-1 in Minnesota's favor. And also Minnesota did beat the Liberty to win the Commissioner's Cup earlier this season. So it's going to be an interesting season. I do think that the Liberty will take game one. But again, I got the Lynx bringing it on. I got Fee and McBride and Williams and Smith. I got those ladies over there taking the cup this year. So it's exciting to see. But as we always start off with at the beginning of the show, we have the trivia question of the day. All right. So in honor of the WNBA finals right now, I want y'all to know, who holds the record for the most points in a WNBA finals game? I wonder if y'all know this. I'm going to give you about 10 seconds, okay? 10 seconds. Who holds the record for the most points in a WNBA finals game? All right, got 2 seconds. All right, there we go. So the woman who holds the record for the most points in the WNBA finals game would be Angel McCoughtry, who used to play for the Atlanta Dream. But Angel McCoughtry had 38 points in the finals in 2011 against the Minnesota Lynx. Don't know if y'all knew that, but there we go. Angel McCoughtry holds the record for the most points in a WNBA finals game. Now, will we see Napheesa Collier break it? And as you saw earlier in the playoffs, Napheesa Collier was at one point averaging 40 points a game, okay? And throughout these playoffs, she's been averaging 27.1 points a game. So we'll see what happens in this series, but Stewie can do it. Unescu can do it. Fee can do it. So we'll see what happens. All right. But let's get into our first topic tonight. Our first topic, it's a little bit emotional for me. My favorite player of all time, Derrick Rose, has retired after 15 seasons in the NBA. Now, Derrick Rose was one of the most prolific, exciting, athletic, quickest players we've ever seen play this game. So growing up with me and in high school and stuff, and when I first got to high school, Derrick Rose had just gotten into the NBA. So for those first few seasons in the NBA for Derrick Rose were amazing. We saw him win Rookie of the Year. We took Boston, who won the championship that year, to a 7-game series. So Derrick Rose came on the scene amazing, and also was a number one draft pick in the 2008 2009 NBA draft. So here's a few highlights, and I'll talk about some of the things that Derrick Rose did throughout his career. But Derrick Rose, again, was the youngest MVP to ever win the award. All right. He won it at 22 years old. Now, Derrick Rose, throughout his career, played for a bunch of teams, but his first 5, 6 seasons in Chicago were amazing. Now they were cut short a bit just simply because Derrick Rose did have a good amount of injuries. I remember against Philly in the first round one time when Derrick first injured his knee. That was one of the saddest things I have ever seen because I knew Chicago that year in the I think it was 2011, 2012 season. I thought Chicago was going to take it all that year, and they had all the pieces, adding Paul Gasol, and they had a squad in Chicago. But throughout Derrick Rose's career, he played for the Chicago Bulls. He had 2 stints in New York with the Knicks. Had that one little baby stint where the Cavs were trying to do what they were trying to do, where they signed everybody in the NBA. It seems like, and it never worked. Then Derrick Rose also played for the Timberwolves, the Detroit Pistons, and the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, Derrick Rose also, throughout his career, averaged about 17.4 points per game, 3.2 rebounds per game, and 5.2 assists throughout his career. Now, Derrick Rose's highlight of his career, where he scored the most points in a game, came on October 31st. It's almost the how many years? 5-year anniversary. No, 6-year anniversary of Derrick Rose's 50-point game against the Utah Jazz when he played for the Minnesota Timberwolves. All right. Some of his other stats, again, Derrick Rose was the youngest MVP to ever play in the NBA, winning that MVP award in 2010 and 2011. 3-time All-Star, All NBA First Team award, and won Rookie of the Year in 2009. Again, that year he took the Chicago Bulls to 7 games his rookie year against the Boston Celtics. All right. Now, Derrick Rose, again, one of the greatest players we've ever seen at that position. And even though it was a short stint of his greatness, Derrick Rose is definitely one of my favorite player to watch of all time, but also was someone who genuinely was a good person and definitely would leave an impact on the NBA based off of his style of play. So, again, right on Derrick Rose. Congrats, man, on a great season, man. A great season, great seasons, should I say? A great career. Let me just put it that way. And I'm proud of you for always. Will be my favorite player. And enjoy your kids, enjoy your family, and we look forward to seeing what other impacts outside of the game that you make, my man. All right, y'all. As always, we're gonna take a quick little break right now. When we come back, we're gonna talk about an amazing man, and a man who had an impact on the world, not just the game of basketball, but Hall of Famer Dikembe Mutombo did pass recently, and so we're going to give honor to him. But after this commercial, we'll be right back. This show is brought to you by the Elevate Tour, where Anthony Cotton merges the live music performance and a powerful message in order to inspire students to elevate their mindset and life. If you would like to book Anthony Cotton, visit his website at justsayyes.org/Anthony-Cotton/. All right. Again, if you would like to book Anthony Cotton for your schools or if anything that you have that needs a great motivational speaking performance, again, he does great performances. He has a great message and a positive message for the young kids of today. So if you need to book him, again, follow that website, and Anthony Cotton will be happy to reach back out to you. And he'd also love to come and perform at your school or event, whatever you have planned for. Okay. All right, y'all, we are back. And as I was stating before the commercial break, we are talking about the passing of Hall of Famer Dikembe Mutombo. All right. Now, Mutombo recently passed from brain cancer. But Mutombo was one of those guys that no matter who you really hear talking about him, nobody has anything bad to say about Dikembe Mutombo. He was an advocate for the NBA, not only in the U.S., but overseas and from the Congo, where he was at overseas. And so Dikembe Mutombo had an impact on many players from Africa that came over to play in the NBA. Many things that he did in the Congo, back in his home town, where he, had hospitals and just helped out the community any way he could, and again, an advocate for the NBA, and for the players overseas that wanted to come over from those areas. But Dikembe Mutombo also was probably one of the greatest defenders you'll ever see play the game. Of course, you always saw Dikembe Mutombo after he blocked somebody's shot, wave his finger, no, no, no. Okay, so that was his favorite thing to do. That was Dikembe Mutombo's trademark. But also being a Nuggets fan, he still has one of the top selling jerseys out here in Denver. And throughout his career, he played for a few different teams. He played for Denver. He played for Atlanta. He had that stint in Philadelphia, where he was playing with Allen Iverson when they made their run to the NBA Finals. Played for the Houston Rockets. Dikembe Mutombo had an amazing career, and what was so great to see about Dikembe Mutombo was, for one, one of the things I always like to hear is a great name is rather to be had than riches. That's a scripture in the Bible. But a great name or a good name is better to be had than riches. And Dikembe Mutombo's name, throughout everybody that I've heard talk about him, was such a great, tool as to how he was and who he was as a man. And so, despite him playing in the NBA for years, and despite his accolades as a basketball player, is his impact off the court seemed to have a greater impact than even maybe his basketball career. And that's what it's all about. And so we will miss Dikembe Mutombo. Definitely a huge loss in the basketball community. But for everyone who knew him or got to meet him, I know that he definitely had an impact on their life and will forever leave a impact on the game of basketball. Whether it's the finger or whether it's just who he was as a man, will forever be remembered. And so rest easy in my prayers to the Mutombo family and for those close and dear to him. I am praying for you all and praying for comfort and peace and God's love to just wrap around you all at this time. All right. All righty. So the next topic we're talking about, the NBA preseason is here. Okay. The NBA preseason is here. So there's been a lot of speculation going on, like will the Boston Celtics repeat? Who's going to challenge in the West? With all the moves that happened this off season, you saw Paul George go over to Philly, so that makes the East a little tougher. Makes Philly more of a contender with Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid, on that side. Now, the biggest trade so far of this whole summer going into this preseason happened about a week and a half ago, and that's when the Minnesota Timberwolves traded Karl Anthony Towns to the New York Knicks for Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo. Now, my first instinct, I didn't like the trade at all. Here's why. I didn't like the trade because Minnesota had its best season last year in a long time. They got to the Western Conference Finals last year, where a lot of us thought they were going to go to the they were going to go to the NBA Finals. Okay, so the Timberwolves were balling last year. They beat my Nuggets. So okay, they beat my Nuggets, but we thought that the Timberwolves were going to go to the NBA Finals last year. So I thought it was too quick of a trigger. Also on the side with the Knicks had their best season last year. Now, if the Knicks had been healthy, I truly believe that they would have been able to challenge the Boston Celtics in the playoffs. Now, because also remember, they were up 2-0 on Indiana before, injuries kind of plagued them. Hart got hurt. DiVincenzo was, Anunoby was hurt. And New York was missing Anunoby, Julius Randle, Bojan Bogdanovic, and also Mitchell Robinson. So that's 4 key players that New York was missing last year. And then Jalen Brunson breaks his hand in the final game. But I truly believe that New York had a big opportunity to come out the East this year. And then adding Mikal Bridges from the Brooklyn Nets. So I thought that, with the what ifs, I thought that New York pulled the trigger quickly, and I also thought Minnesota pulled the trigger quickly. So I didn't like it at all. But I will say that I thought Minnesota won that trade more than not. This is why I say that. So you give up Cat. Now, we all know Cat likes to stay out there and shoot threes. So, but he has the game to play in the post. We don't see it as often, but Cat does have the skill and the ability to play in the post. We just haven't seen it. Now, Julius Randle can knock down the three. Not as good as a shooter as Cat is, but Julius Randle can knock down the three. He can also handle the ball, I think, better than Cat can too. Now, I think the biggest asset that came with the trade was Dante DiVincenzo. Dante DiVincenzo was one of the reasons why the Knicks were so good in the playoffs last year. So adding him to a Timberwolves team, Dante DiVincenzo is a decent defender. He's a good scorer. He can knock down the three. Then you add Julius Randle, who's a decent defender, can score the ball as well. So I figured that Minnesota did win that trade. Now, again, I didn't like it because I was looking forward to seeing how Julius Randle and then the additions that New York had fit together. And I thought they were going to fit together very well. But the trade has happened. And so Karl Anthony Towns had a good game in New York the other night. I don't think Julius Randle has played quite yet, but we'll see how that happens. But it did definitely shake up a lot. Doesn't mean that New York won't be good. I think they will still be good. But Cat is going to definitely have to play bigger in the post. And because they all, remember New York lost Isaiah Hartenstein too. He's in OKC. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting, but I definitely wanted to see New York with that original cast prior to the trade of Karl Anthony Towns. But we saw Bronny and Bron on the court at the same time the other night. A very, amazing moment to see a father and son playing on the same team on the court at the same time. I do believe that Bronny does need to play in the G League because I don't think he's going to get much time on the Lakers this season. And so if I'm trying to look out for Bronny's best interest, then I would put him in the G League. That way he can play. That way he can get better instead of just sitting on the bench and not really playing or getting the experience that he can, so he can come to that level and be a decent player at that level, which I think he can. He has all the tangibles as far as athleticism, defense. I think he can work on his shooting a little bit more, but Bronny has all the tangibles, and so I'm excited to see what happens. But to see Bron and Bronny on the court at the same time was an amazing thing to see, and so that was super cool. But preseason is here. I love the addition of Russell Westbrook to the Nuggets. I think him and Dario Saric, I think they're really gonna help out that bench or that second unit for Denver. And I think Russ is looking good. Russ is looking rejuvenated, and he's looking excited about the game again. And I believe him playing with Jokic, he's never played with a player like Jokic before. So I think that's going to benefit him. And then just the type of coach that Michael Malone is. Michael Malone is a very personable coach. And so I think that he's going to encourage Russell to be who Russell is and to play. And with him coming off the bench in that second unit, he can do that. So I'm excited to see this year. We got tons of games coming up. The season starts here in 2 weeks. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. But when we come back, we're going to start wrapping up. We're going to talk about the WNBA season and who were the winners were of the awards this year. And we're also going to talk about this finals preview, get into that a little bit more. But we have one more. We have one more commercial. One more, okay? And then from there, we will be back as soon as this commercial's over.
Rollback Diabetes is a channel and a tool and a platform to provide you access to as much information and resources as possible on how to completely roll back and or manage diabetes better. Marty DeBose hopes to help you change how you think about food in order to make a lasting transformational change in what and how you eat. She wants to also help you all understand the real cause of diabetes and what to eat to reverse and manage it better. If you all would love to find out how to roll back diabetes for those of you all who are diabetics, I would recommend that you go to rollbackdiabetes.com and get all the information that Marty DeBose has on how to roll back diabetes.
All right, welcome back. Again, hit up the rollbackdiabetes.com. Learn how to manage your diabetes better. If you've been diagnosed, I don't like to claim it, but if you've been diagnosed with diabetes, learn how to manage it better. Reach out to Marty DeBose, and she'll be happy to help you out to get on your track of managing diabetes better, but also eating better and preserving and furthering your life with your health. All right, y'all. So we are wrapping this show up here in a moment. But we're going to talk about the awards and winners of the WNBA season this year. So this has been one of the most anticipated WNBA seasons that we've ever seen. Based off of a lot of it has been based off the rookie class and who came into the league this year with, like Cameron Brink. Even though she got hurt early, she'll make a strong comeback next year. Cameron Brink, Angel Reese, Camila Cardosa, Rakia Jackson, Caitlin Clark. So we saw a lot of good basketball, and furthering the good basketball that we've already seen. Asia Wilson had a dominant season this year, one of the most dominant seasons that we've ever seen. I mean, she was the first woman to score 1,000 points in a season this year. So, kudos and congrats to Asia. And also had the most rebounds in a season this year. Angel Reese had it for a little bit, but then she got hurt and missed the last few games. So Asia came in and took that record. But Angel Reese averaged 13.1 rebounds this year, and that's just great as a rookie. We saw Rakia Jackson have some great games in Los Angeles, and then just the overall amazing play of Caitlin Clark this year was amazing to watch her play. And we saw how she struggled at the beginning, but it seemed like each game she got better, like each game. And so that second half after the Olympic break, man, I mean, Caitlin Clark came out and balled out, which also led her to being a first all WNBA first team player this year as a rookie. So that was amazing. But some of the awards that we saw Asia Wilson going to take the MVP. Nafisa Collier in Minnesota won Defensive Player of the Year. And Dejanay Carrington of the Connecticut Sun won the Most Improved Player of the Year. We had Tiffany Hayes, who won Sixth Woman of the Year. And then, like I said earlier, Caitlin Clark, who had an amazing season, went on and took the Rookie of the Year. Now, at the beginning of the year, it was a little bit neck and neck. And then, like I said, that second half, Caitlin just flipped the switch and took over that whole thing and just balled completely out. Had the Fever in the playoffs up in that sixth spot. So the Fever made the playoffs, and they hadn't made the playoffs in a few years. So that team's looking exciting. I hope that team stays together. The Fever, because I just loved watching the team. I feel like they just had each piece, like just 1 through 8, like they just had each piece that fit very well and could play together. With Caitlin Clark, Lexi Hall, Kelsey Mitchell, who balled out this year. Kelsey Mitchell played well. Aaliyah Boston, Nalissa Smith, and then off the bench, Katie Lou Samuelson. So we saw a great team. That team just grew as the time came. So I hope that they stay. I know Kelsey Mitchell is a free agent next year, but I hope that they stay together, because I would love to see that team again, and based off of starting off strong and finishing strong. So those were the award winners of this year, but it was a good season this year for sure. And so I'm excited to see what happens next year. I wish all good health to all of the women that are going overseas to play. I saw Nika Mule recently went down, the guard from Seattle recently went down with a torn ACL. So good. We just have good healing and good prayers to you, Nika. Pray that you get better, because we want to see you next year. I thought she should have gotten more time this year, because Nika Mule is a great defender. But we're gonna see what happens next season for sure. But a great, amazing season, and it's not over yet. Again, we're talking about the WNBA finals. So right now, the game is kind of tight. Like I said, at halftime, it was 44 to 30. 36, yeah, 44 to 36 at half. And so after I get off here, I got to catch and see what's going on. But I do have the Lynx winning, and again, the Lynx were up this year in the regular season on the New York Liberty, 3-1. And so that's the one team that New York has struggled with all season. So I do think that, like I said, New York will take game 1 tonight. But I think once the Minnesota Lynx settle down, they just finished playing their last series against the Connecticut Sun a couple days ago. So I think they might be a little tired, whereas New York is a bit rested. But we'll see what happens. I'm hoping the Lynx go on to take it. I like Inescu and Stewart and JJ up in New York, but I would love to see Minnesota. I just thought that they were the most all-rounded, team this year that played well, not only offensively but defensively. So have to have big games from Courtney Williams. Definitely have to have big games from Kayla McBride. At the beginning of the year, Kayla McBride was lighting everybody up. But I think the dark horse and the deciding factor, I think Laney Hamilton from New York is gonna be a major X factor for the Liberty as far as how they go or if they win or what happens for them. Good defender also, has a decent offensive game as well. So we'll see what happens with that. But again, I'm choosing the Lynx to win in five. Lynx in five. That's my prediction. I could be wrong, but that's my prediction. Lynx in five. All right. But again, this is Aslan Williams. I appreciate y'all so much. Thank y'all for rocking with me. This is always fun to come on here and do this. I don't know why I need to keep doing it. Okay, just come on here and do it. All right. But again, don't forget to subscribe. Hit the like button. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to subscribe. All right. Trying to get to 500 by the end of the year. So if y'all can help me out with that, I would greatly appreciate it. But with that being said, my name is Aslan Williams. This is Spell Basketball. All glory to God. I love y'all. I hope y'all have a great day, a great weekend. Be safe. Don't do nothing crazy. Go Lynx, go Nuggets, and I'll see y'all next time. All right.